The federal government has put 3 aging presidential jets on sale in a move analysts say will reduce excessive spending on fleet maintenance. Well, there are reports that out of the 6 airplanes and 4 helicopters in the presidential fleet, 3 planes have become unserviceable, negotiating the calls or leading to calls to purchase a new airline for the president. Well, the current fleet maintained by the Presidential Air Fleet, an arm of the Office of the National Security Advisor, include Boeing 737, a Boeing business jet, a Gulfstream G550, a Gulfstream GV, 2 Falcon 7Xs, and 1 Challenger, that's CL605. However, concerns have been expressed whether it is the appropriate time to procure a new airplane for the president. Lawyer and Arise analyst Frank Tietie joins me now in the studio to look at this call, not just from the House of Representatives. The Senate is also in on it, saying the president and the vice president actually deserve, better presidential aircraft. Frank Tietie, good to see you.
My pleasure.
Let's get your thoughts first on the whole idea that the president and the vice president cannot afford to, continue to travel, with unserviceable aircraft, considering there was a time when the president was going to go to Saudi Arabia. That flight was, of course, did not launch because the aircraft developed issues and all of that. I'm wondering if the House of Reps have investigated thoroughly the extent of unserviceability of this aircraft to make this call. But
there are facts in the public domain, no doubt, that the presidential fleet, have been actually gulping billions of naira in maintenance without delivering that necessary safety and security the planes were supposed to serve. This president has not enjoyed the presidential jet, the standard presidential jet that was sent for repairs pursuant to his election or inauguration. So it's a matter of fact that both the president and the vice president, as we speak, don't have the kind of planes that befit their offices. That's a problem. That's a matter that has to do with prestige of our country, and then it also deals with the security of our country. There are lots of very, very dangerous dimensions when a president flies in such jets that are not secure. I cannot really tell you enough what that means in a country that is highly polarized like Nigeria. So it's important that everything is done to ensure that the president's planes are actually in top shape. However, there is a lot of however about this. Can we afford new planes? As a matter of fact, the president has flown in several times in private jets that don't belong to the federal government of Nigeria. In some cases, they were chartered, as reported. Now, that's not befitting for the image of our country. On the other hand, if you recall that, and this point has been made very strongly by Bayo Nanuga, but I didn't quite like his choice of words.
Do we want what has happened to some other leaders
yes.
to happen to our president, God forbid?
Yes, that's why I don't want to even mention it. Yeah, because you could see two African countries that fought bitter civil wars over the manner of what happened to their president caught in the air. So there's no doubt about that. There's a very funny thinking that the president has been a billionaire before he became president.
Should he go and buy presidential aircraft?
He owned the private jets, and he could have actually used this private jet because the economic implications, and you need to look at what the opposition party is saying now, being led by Peter Obi, that is sharply criticizing the idea of trying to buy new jets for the president. So it's important that the president considers that he will be stirring the hornet's nest at a time where he's struggling over issues of minimum wage, and Nigeria is noted as going around the entire world cap in hand trying to borrow money. So how does it look to our creditors that we borrow money to go and buy new jets?
Yeah, but there's a plan to sell off 3 of these presidential jets. There's about 6 in the fleet, in the presidential fleet.
Because they have become unserviceable.
Absolutely.
The idea is that at a time where there is high scarcity of foreign exchange in this country, would you wait until you sell those jets before you actually pay for a new presidential jet? It takes quite some time to actually manufacture these jets, especially a presidential jet that needs to be customized for the Nigerian president and the vice president. It takes quite a minimum of 1 year. In fact, for the kind of the Air Force One that the American president uses, between 3 years to 8 years for you to be able to get one manufactured and ordered and delivered. Yeah. So what's the presidency saying? That is the president placing this order, right? Does he have the money now? If he has the money now, that money could be put to something more, important, and they wait for these 3 jets to be sold. But a
safe aircraft for the president and the vice president, is that not priority?
Well, it's priority at any time. Right. However, you need to look at the climate we're in at this moment. We're a country that is broke. We're a country that is borrowing. We're a country that has a reputation of being a world poverty capital. So how does it sound that the president, who could have considered the opportunity cost of buying new presidential jets, now move to take hard-earned dollars at a time we're of dwindling resources to buy a jet? So the idea that they are going to sell 3 unserviceable jets, even though they are aging, so it's expected that we should not really keep those jets. After all, if you need to, I recall in preparation for this program, I saw a Daily Trust report saying that 12 billion, the Buhari administration in its twilight spent 12 billion naira to maintain the jets. Yet, after maintaining them, the presidential jet was sent abroad for repairs, and it hasn't come back up till now. So it's justifiable to have them sold. The point is that sell them first before you place that order. And then the opportunity cost is that there are alternatives indeed. And the president has proven that he could travel.
What are the alternatives?
Of course, in the way he traveled to South Africa. And, there are reports there that the jets were provided, even though they are not, I don't have the insider report as to how much was paid. But that argument that the president at this time could actually demonstrate that if he could lend his presidential jets to the then General Buhari before becoming president for campaigns, why couldn't he just even possibly dash one of his jets, the presidential jets at this time, or use one, as in the spirit of sacrifice? So the president, in that case, he could defeat easily Peter Obi's argument, Peter Obi's kind of economics of austerity, that, but the point is this: you cannot imagine that the Nigerian president, this is not a prime minister.
But beyond the emotional response to all of this, yes, it's clear that Nigeria is in economic, dire straits. But then again, when you look at it, are we saying that our president should borrow from other countries or should fly commercial airlines? And considering again the age of the aircraft, since these aircraft were purchased since the time of President Olusegun Obasanjo, over 20 years.
There is no argument as to the fact that our president deserves the safest of planes at this time. It's just the problem is the timing. The bad part of it is that we can't make comparisons with some big countries like the United Kingdom that has either the Queen flying Concorde or flying Airbus or any other aircraft, or the Prime Minister going on British Airways. In this case, because we copied the American-style presidential system of government, where the president is a repository of so many things, so there's a difference. So the president has to appear that powerful and becomes the whole head of state of Nigeria. He should go with that prestige. But President Tinubu has proven that he could travel with other alternative means. He could do that for some time. The argument again, he could do that for some time. But must he buy a new jet?
But let me even throw this in. The whole idea that the aircraft are unserviceable, does it speak to culture of lack of maintenance.
Yes, I would have expected
yeah.
the new National Security Advisor to have investigated that idea, because private jets are not like commercial airlines that run about
not
all
just
the
private
place.
jets, presidential
jets, I would say. Presidential jets, thank you. They are not or commercial airlines that fly every day. They are supposed to be resting for most of their life. And at that point, one would expect that it doesn't matter that they are old, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
But we have to remember, during Obasanjo's time, he actually did a lot of traveling. But at the point, Nigerians were complaining that, hey, Baba, stay home.
Oh, we needed it at that time. We did it at that time. And again, we had the president.
Don't you think that would have added to the wear and tear on the aircraft?
Whatever it is, the fact is that the planes are currently not fit for purpose, fit for use. The idea, therefore, is just a timing. Right. But again, you see, the president needs to understand that he is faced with a mounting criticism as to making the purchase right now. But it's quite embarrassing, and for every proud Nigerian like myself, to see that what happened to the Iranian president would ever happen to the Nigerian president, supposedly Africa's richest country, even though we've gone down very badly. You know, we are a badly managed economy. In that case, so why would we apply such kind of huge resources to buy the presidential jet
in this argument, not a lot of people are considering that point that you made earlier about, you know, the time that it takes. There's a waiting period, you know, from the time of ordering for the aircraft, some as much as 4 years.
Yes,
8 years.
But it depends.
Would it make sense to then say that maybe President Tinubu may not even be the direct beneficiary?
Not quite. Not quite. If you remember the imbroglio that went through over the presidential yacht, you know,
right?
you know, there was this argument, and Nigerians couldn't understand that. You know, you've got the president that is not so much, you know, in that traveling type, you know, rolling around.
But you know, that was a misunderstood situation because this was, you know, for the Navy, really, but only just, I mean, when the president maybe needs to go on the waters, maybe that's the aircraft.
Oh, well, it was named presidential yacht. But the point I'm trying to make is that
presidential yacht.
They had, without informing the public, made an order for that yacht, you know, before coming back to seek approval. So as we speak, we don't know whether there has been one sort of anticipatory approval by former President Muhammadu Buhari for this presidential jet. Because we're talking about timing for the production. So probably, most probably, because, and this is the kind of thing, the way we do things in the country that is wrong. So we're probably just playing a script. In the House of Representatives may just be playing a script that is, the long order has been made, maybe 2-3 years before now, and then saying, you know, okay.
And who's to say it's not been paid for?
Well, it's a possibility. But on the other hand, very interesting. If the president indeed is initiating this purchase, probably is he expecting to have a second term that after 4 years, when it's delivered, he would now be able to use the presidential jet? Whatever the case is, please, you see, we understand that a country of ours does need, you know, that classic, you know, presentable, safe and secure jet. The Americans put a whole lot into the Air Force One. You know, it even carries the cars and some other bulletproof and all that stuff. I recall
President Obama actually ordered for, you know, he was going to order for a new presidential fleet, Air Force One. It was going to take 8 years.
Yes, because of the customization. Right. Actually, if you pay upfront and you pay for express services, you can actually get more. All right,
before it gets too much ado about a presidential jet, let's move on to other issues now. The Police Service Commission has asked the Nigeria Police Force to provide evidence that the recent constable recruitment exercise was marred with corruption. Well, this comes against the background of allegations of corrupt practices during the recruitment exercise leveled against the commission by the Nigeria Police Force. Well, the police had said the recruitment exercise was marred by gratification and irregularities. But in a statement by the spokesperson of the commission, Ike Chukwani, the commission is accusing the NPF, that's the Nigeria Police, of not respecting the commission's mandate to recruit personnel for the police. Well, the commissioner also accuses the police of flagrant abuse of the Supreme Court's judgment that reaffirmed the constitutional mandate of the commission to recruit policemen. According to Ani, it is unfortunate and self-indicting for the police to attribute its failure to address banditry to shoddy recruitment. All right. So let's look at this, in the next 3 minutes. So what do we make of this? Because the Supreme Court really has ruled unambiguously that, the authority to recruit into the police belongs to the Police Service Commission.
No doubt about that.
But the IG of police is arguing that that's not to say that the police should not be carried along in the process of recruitment. He's even saying he wants to ensure quality recruitment.
I think that's a good call on the part of the IG. However, it now appears that he has interest in the matter. Look, for a country, number one policeman, to say that there is corruption, there is malfeasance with regards to police recruitment, that is a grave matter. It's a very serious issue. And that requires, a sort of investigation. He cannot be the one that will carry out the investigation because he's involved. However, now that the Police Service Commission has challenged the Inspector General of Police to come out with proof, this is the time for the appointing authority, who is in the person of the president, to actually take this matter very seriously. This is embarrassing to all Nigerians. The Inspector General of Police, who is a man who is able to bust crime, is able to say, look, you are an alleged criminal because of this and that, because he has all of the paraphernalia and all that to be able to carry out such investigation. So as it is, if the Police Service Commission is counter-accusing the Inspector General of Police that it is because you wanted 1,000 slots, that's why, and we didn't give you, that's why you're going on. So how can a whole Inspector General of Police embark on a litany of, dishing out a litany of lies because of his interest? Look, the best approach to this is for the president to immediately commission an inquiry, and not just an inquiry, a criminal inquiry. So in this case, a consideration of deploying the EFCC or the ICPC to unravel the truth, so that we can get at this. This is embarrassing, and the IG is saying that because of the shoddy recruitments that we've had, that's the reason why there is growing insecurity. No, Nigerians can't take that, and it's not enough for the Police Service Commission to hide under the statutory provision that it's meant to recruit all of the police officers except the IG, and then give us all sort of people who are, alleged to be criminals, to be holding guns and all of that in the name of policing. That's terrible.
Well, in the meantime, of course, the police is barricading the PSC secretariat, and they've insisted they will continue the barricading until the court rules clearly as to what to do. Well, we'll have to leave it there. Frank Tietie, lawyer and a RISE analyst.